Morning, welcome back to the channel. It's been a bit quiet on the channel last few days, last few weeks, um, mainly due to the fact that we're preparing for a larger ride next few weeks, end of or beginning of April, heading into Laos. So it takes a bit more preparation. So the weekends camp as we normally do hasn't happened. However, been no camping as such, but lots of preparation. Going into Laos, there's lots to prepare, not just paperwork, loads of paperwork to do, but also, more importantly, the bikes. The bikes have to be really, really well done. I'll explain that why a bit later on. But yeah, it's been a bit warm too. We've not had the cool weather that's disappeared. Started to go into hot weather, which isn't so nice. On top of the hills is okay, but generally down on the flat, it's not as good. It's a bit hot. So, like I said, we're going into Laos beginning of April for a week. Um, an unusual tour, this one, because we're going to be going up part of the trip on a boat. We're going to load the bikes onto a boat. That's the plan, anyway, and hopefully we can get a good 50% up the Mekong, and then we come off, and then we'll be ready to ride up through the mountains up to it's a big long mountain pass which we intend to do. About 200 kilometers, so it's going to take us a fair while, especially with the nature of the hills. They're very, very steep, so we're going to be taking our time and stuff. But going back to the bikes, yeah, this is why we have to get them good. These hills are really steep, the corners are really sharp, so things like your brakes and everything have to be really on the ball. So a lot of the guys, even if the brakes are working, they're being redone. They're getting a better quality brake put into the bikes because they get hot. Simple as that. One example we did in the Mae Hong Son Loop, which is north of Thailand. One of our guys actually physically melted the interior of his brakes, and all this black rubberized plastic came out when we went to the garage. Again, using the wrong brake wasn't so much the brakes or the bike, it was the fact that he was using his back brake more than the front, which he shouldn't be doing, as you know. The weather should be good though, so it should be dry. So you're not going to have the problem of all the horrible wet stuff on the road, which can be horrible, especially if it's got a bit of green algae on it. It can be really quite dangerous. So yeah, the brakes, front and rear been done. Also, electrics being checked out, batteries and stuff. What else? Tires, that's a big one. Quite a few people having to change their tires because difficult to get the tires up there for a start. So certainly the sizes we want, and certainly the types of tires we want. So a lot of people making sure the tires will be done. The tires here are cheap though. I just bought a 3.0 17-inch. It cost me 10 quid, and that's for a 50/50 off-road tire. On road, it's a good tire too. Yeah, about 10 quid. So it's not expensive. It's not the fact that it's not the price. It's the fact that we can't get them there. So we got to get all this done first. So yeah, tires are done. Everyone will get an oil change before we head off. That's a absolute standard. Um, shouldn't be too difficult on the bikes. I mean, generally it's going to be about 800 kilometers to about 1,000 maximum. So in terms of what we do, not too difficult. But yeah, we'll change the oils before we go. Other stuff, people getting their panniers ready because we need side bags for this one. So that has to be done. Not too much kit for this, really. It's not really a camping trip. This one. This is more of a I wouldn't say fun ride because it's quite adventurous still, but it's certainly less arduous than what we normally do. We're not going to be spending hours out up and down or in the jungles this time. So the extent of our camping equipment is going to be considerably less than normal. Most of the guys, in fact, we'll pair up, but it's basically going to be a shelter, a mosquito net, which we can sleep in. Um, Emergency food for 24 hours, lots of water, emergency fuel. Um, and I'm taking a fan because even then I still want to be cool, so I'm taking a fan. Camping, I mean, camping in Laos, it's not illegal to camp in Laos, and camping a bit like Thailand has sort of really taken off recently. Again, I think mainly due to COVID. Wild camping, I thought it was illegal, but apparently it's not. It's not illegal. The recommendation in Laos is to clear it with the local village elder, village head, and you should have no problems. But to be honest, we always do that anyway. So otherwise, you're disrespecting the local community. So it's always a good thing to do. So we're not going to do camping, but we are set up in case of an emergency. Say there's an accident or something, or a bike goes drastically wrong, then we can stop, set up a camp, and we can basically exist there for 24 hours or however long we need to be there, or how long it takes to get the bike fixed. We'll be taking spares. The bikes we're taking for this is going to be your normal Honda Waves and the Honda Wave derivatives. For example, Suzuki Smashes and stuff like that. I think it's only Suzuki Smash actually. Yeah, we got a Suzuki Smash and the rest of the Honda Waves 125s, older editions, new editions, Honda 110s, Honda 100Ss. So predominantly Honda Waves. And again, people always comment, why do you take these small bikes? Why don't you take a KLR or something like this? But it's not about the bike, it's about the trip, it's about the journey. And it's really a case of when it stops, can we get it fixed? And some of my friends will verify, you know, once a decent bike, an expensive bike breaks down, you're toast, you're done. You're going to have to go back to the border or get parts sent in from the border. But effectively, your trip is stopped until you can get it done. And the other option which we've done is you have to ship it back to the border and then back through the border. So we use the Honda Waves because they're repairable. Virtually everywhere, every sort of little village will have a very small little motorbike repair shop. They set them up everywhere. So get in there. Even if they can do it, most of the time we can do it ourselves. We'll take the most rarer components to be replaced. We probably will take with this. For example, the Smash, Suzuki Smash. A lot of those parts are interchangeable, but things like valves and stuff are not. So I dare say Richard's going to take a set of valves, maybe a timing chain or something like this, just in case. But to be fair, the Suzuki Smash is like bomb-proof. You could drop it out of a plane. It is an incredibly robust bike, a bit like the Honda Waves. The Honda Waves is just have a bit more finesse to them. The gearboxes are less clunky, a bit smoother. The ride's a bit smoother, but the Suzuki's a really, really tough old bike. So we shouldn't have any. Hopefully, have no issues with it. The plan is we're going to go up to Loy with the vehicles. Leave the vehicles there with our friend Pierre. He's allowed us to put the vehicles in there, unload the bikes, and then basically take the bikes from there for about an hour north to a place called Chien Can. And then we'll get Robert, who's our interpreter. He will then be going up and down the riverbank, not in a dodgy sense, could be, but he's going to be negotiating our passage up to, what's the name of the place? Up to Pat Bang, which is about halfway up, and we'll stop there, get out, hopefully stay in a hotel there. The plan is to get the two chefs, the two chefs, to provide the team with a decent meal for the next day, because the next day is a day in the mountains, and it's going to be an exciting day. It's going to be a long day, it's going to be a tough day, but the guys are going to needed to be well fed for the next morning. So hopefully the two chefs will provide us with some good sustenance for the next day. A couple of beers, definitely, always. And then that's it. Hopefully early-ish to bed, up early, and then up through the mountains. And on the way up through to Luang Prabang, we will stop at the waterfall, famous waterfall on the way up. And also there's a famous elephant park. So we'll stop there as well, look at the elephant. We get to Luang Prabang, which is the old capital of Laos. Beautiful place, really beautiful place. Very popular with backpackers and stuff. So we'll go there and we'll stop there overnight and take in all the sights, the scenes, the smells, and everything else. So we're looking forward to that. So after Luang Prabang, it's down the road down to Van Vieng. I've seen a trail. I may be tempted to take, which is a bit of mountain work. See some hill tribes and stuff. That'd be quite cool if we could do that. Down to Van Vieng, which is a beautiful place to go. Staying there overnight, and there's a tourist attraction there we want to partake of. Robert has told us is like a river where you can get in and basically float around on the river. And there's every so often there's a small little restaurant or a little bar where you can have a drink and then back into the river and then float on a bit further down. And it goes around in a circle and they pull you in on a big hook, like, come in number 39, your time is up. So that sounds pretty cool. That sounds a lot of fun. So we'll do that. And overnight in Van Vieng, which I've never stayed there before, so that'll be a first time for me. So after Van Vieng, we head down to Vientiane, the capital, the modern capital. And we'll stay a night over there. Hopefully, we'll meet up with some friends there. Pirot's got some friends who work for the Laotian government there, the Ministry of the Forestry Commission, basically the equivalent in the UK. So hopefully we'll meet up with him. Great place, Vientiane, very diverse, very cosmopolitan. Some great restaurants. I'm definitely heading towards the Indian restaurant. There's a fantastic Indian restaurant there. It's weird, I'm not good for English food. I'm going to go for some Indian food, maybe because it's got a good taste there, I don't know. But it's a great place. So we'll stay there for one night. Next morning, back through the border to Vientiane, across to Nong Khai, and then it's about 3 hours, I think, or maybe slightly more, back to Loy, where we can bikes back on the truck, put the trucks back on the road and back to home. And that's the plan. Should be about 1,000 k's, 800 to 1,000 k's, probably nearer to 1,000. And about a 7-day trip, so it's not a long trip, but I think this trip really is to everyone unwind a bit. It's not too serious, it's not too hardcore. It's a bit of both, this one, so hopefully people enjoy it. Team of 8. The team comprises of two English people, one Thai person, 2, 3, 4 3 Australian, and two from Northern Ireland. So quite a mix, quite a mixer really. We got, I would say, we've got some experts in different fields. We've got medics, we've got chefs, we've got survival people, we've got engineers, we've got linguists. So we're pretty well covered in most departments, to be honest. We shouldn't be struggling. I think the worst bit's going to be going through the border with all the paperwork. Is always a complete nose, because there's always money to be made, certainly from foreigners when we go through borders. We're aware of that. You've just got to sort of deal with it, get through it, and move on. The other thing is driving permits. If you've got a driving permit or a driving license from Thailand, that's okay. It's ASEAN, so that's cool. We can use that through into Laos. But the guy's coming in. Steve's coming in from the UK. He's got an IDP, which is cool. So IDPs are good. The ASEAN license is good. The other thing you need a green book, which is basically your ownership book for your bike. You got that, and then you get through the border, you get insurance, and hopefully you're on your merry way. Hopefully that's the plan, but it could take several hours to get through the border. We're expecting that, so nothing unusual. Basically the same as any international border. So there we go. That's the update as of now. We might be doing a ride next couple of weeks just to get people back in the seat, really. I'm going to try and get around some local hills here. There are a few, and it's not so much the guys can't ride. Of course they can. It's really going to be pushing them up and down the hills, get the braking into the corners, get him back up getting used to going back up and steep corners, bit of shingle, all that type of stuff. You know, the mental awareness you need when you're riding for long times and it's steep inclines, dust, shingle, you name it, it's there. You've got to be on the ball, otherwise you're going to come a cropper, which we don't want. So we'll do some prep before we go. That's it. Hopefully, it's given everyone an update. Any questions or anyone want to know anything about what we're doing? Let me know. See you later.